Can y'all still hear that? All right, I guess we're live now for our first time. Can y'all all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can.
All right, I don't know where Patrick is. He texted me and said he was grabbing a Red Bull. First thing I need to do is thank Steve from Fliver Channel for helping us out with this, coordinating and helping me out with everything. I see Elizabeth on, Will's on, Ira Peavy's on. Steve with Fliver Channel, can you tell me how to remove that looping background? It's not that big a deal, but if we can do that, that would be fine. It'd be great, but if not, that's no big deal there too. So what we wanted to do is get everyone together, and hopefully again Patrick will be on here in a little bit, and kind of do a recap from our epic 2023 12-day coast-to-coast Model T trip where we raised money and awareness for the Hydrocephalus Association in honor of Elizabeth. So Miss Tracy's on, so appreciate y'all joining us. Jen, do you want to start with where this all started from?
I mean, I guess that's kind of a you thing. It started off when Todd decided he was going to buy a car that was 100 years old or older. And when we started looking at other cars, we decided that really the only thing that was kind of in our budget was going to be a Model T, which we knew absolutely nothing about. Todd had some cars in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, that kind of stuff. And then when he decided to own the Model T, we really didn't do any research. We just kind of looked at things that were in our budget and pulled the trigger on the one Model T that we got in Connecticut. And then that led into Todd trying to figure out a way that we could use it to, help benefit the Hydrocephalus Association. And it kind of turned into 18 months of him planning the trip to go cross country, which I thought was absolutely crazy at the time. Still think it's crazy.
All right, so we finally have Patrick in here. Let's add him to the stage here.
Hi.
Hey, Patrick. So, Philip, you're in your truck. Is that right?
Oh, no, I'm in the car.
In the car, okay.
In a car.
Patrick, where are you at?
I'm in my house.
In the house, okay. All right.
It's better than somebody else's house, I guess.
So, as Jennifer was starting out with, I'd always wanted to own something over 100 years old. And I'm not going to get into a whole lot of the backstory of where this came from, but I just wanted to touch on it a little bit. I always thought it would be cool to own something over 100 years old. And we had absolutely no clue what we were getting into. And I don't know yet, Will. But we got it and dove in head first. And next thing I know, I was researching people that own cars and people's lifestyles back in the teens, 20s, and 30s, and how far they actually went across the country, or how far they went from town, into town, away from home, And then I ran across a few people that actually went all the way across country. And I was like, man, that's really cool. And Elizabeth has had, she'll be 25 in April. She's had 19 brain surgeries, including heart, spine, and stomach. And she's been pretty passionate about raising money for the Hydrocephalus Association that does the research and awareness and everything. So we did a few car shows, and tons of people held out. We raised some money for that. And they're due a walkover in Columbia every year, and that was what it went toward. So told her I would come up with something that would be big time, and this is what I came up with. And next thing I know, I'm doing a podcast with Steve and Fliver Channel up in Canada. I'm getting a starter from England. I'm doing a speech out in Las Vegas. And unfortunately, we didn't catch up with Patrick that time, and I wish we had of, but it ended up coming out pretty good in the end. And spoke at a few churches and a few other events. So next thing after that, Jennifer was like, you better get this car ready to get across country. And then, as you can see with Jasmine's sweatshirt there, her hoodie, that the city of Sumter and the state of South Carolina jumped on board. And I was like, man, we better make this thing actually happen. So we did, and I got the crazy crew here, and one thing led to another, and let's see if we can take a look at the first day here. There's Elizabeth, and that was when we're getting ready to head out to Huntington. Philip,
One at a
Cool
time,
vehicle.
'cause we can't- we don't know.
How many?
Alright.
Take 20 pictures. Say cheese.
Philip, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Alright. Got it.
All right, next.
One more.
One more. Give it.
I think Patrick's wife is taking pictures here.
You gotta share them.
And Charlie there, I don't know if
I'll
he's on
send
or
them to
not, but he was
Patrick.
supposed to go with us.
Thank you.
Okay, now I can't
What
get
day would it go?
You can get up. You can go in.
Which ones you like the most?
So is anyone nervous at this point in time?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You are nervous?
Yes.
All right, this is the early morning of the first day here. Jen and I walked out and got some ocean water to pour on the, what was it, the left rear, right rear?
I think it was right rear. Because that's the one we got closest to the water.
Elizabeth, I don't know how to take that logo off right now. I was trying to figure it out, and I can't figure it out.
Just smoking everywhere.
But does anyone remember our first incident not long after we left?
Yeah, I think it was the
Battery.
battery
Yep.
cable.
Yep, battery cable. Man, that sand
And
was
then-
thick.
And
Yes, it was.
Philip, I think Philip and Patrick, Jen was riding, was she?
Yeah, Jen rode to start
Okay,
with.
so that was the day that the other Model Ts come out the gas station, and I was like, what are the odds of that? And Philip and Patrick were both like, that was planned, and I was like, oh, my bad.
Yeah, that was Jay Corman and the George. There's the battery. There's the battery incident right there.
Yeah.
What we get, like a mile or so down the road?
It wasn't even 2 miles.
Yeah,
And-
battery cable came loose. As many times as we took it loose to check everything and whatever else, we just forgot to tighten that back up. And that's Jay Corman there from Georgia.
I know I was riding with somebody in somebody's car.
Yeah, I can't remember that guy's name. It was a Rio or something, wasn't it?
I hopped in a couple different cars.
And this is the first night here at Andersonville RV Park, and I won't ever forget. There were 37 people watching on Facebook Live, watching Patrick change the oil in the Model T. So I was like, I know we have a following now.
I think our second incident was the flagpole snapping. in
Michael
half.
Bent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think it was already gone by then, wasn't
Yep.
it?
Well, it's on there right now. I don't know how many times we broke it,
Yeah,
but
we finally
Okay.
fixed it.
yeah, the videos here that I'm gonna play or whatever is not like every single minute of every single day or anything like that. But I just figured I would get the first part and a little bit of the middle and the last part.
That's not pancakes.
Ha, ha, ha.
Hey, I appreciate the recap videos because, like I said, when you asked me to do this, I have a lot of faith in me being able to remember from 2 years ago.
I actually happened to flip through some pictures earlier today, cleaning out a drawer, and I had a few of them show up that were from the trip.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right. This was part of day 2. And the first thing we had to do, that was leaving Andersonville RV Park. And first thing we had to do was make a brake rod adjustment because we were still getting used to the Rocky Mountain brakes.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember running there and wrenching a little bit.
And before that, right after we did the brake rod adjustment, we had 2 deer run out in front of us. I won't forget. The first one was extremely close. And I was thinking, like, this is going to be really bad if we have to change the radiator on the second day. And we also went to the Lunchbox Museum on the second day. That I think her name was Connie Thornton set that up for
Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool stop there for sure. And this was on 80 when me and Jen had been by ourselves for a couple of hours, I think, and the rest of y'all left us and went and got Starbucks or something, maybe.
Oh,
Yeah, they went and got Bojangles and Starbucks and all kinds of stuff. Like all the creature comforts were freezing.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, you did.
I think I don't
I don't remember that at all.
No.
Hey,
I think you thought
there
that.
was only one time that I remember we separated from y'all, and we went and grabbed y'all breakfast while we went to Whataburger, and that was because I forgot the pancakes.
No, that was after Tombstone when we got into California.
Yeah,
If
that's the
you'll
only time I
watch here-
remember separating.
If you'll watch here, and we'll get to some of the questions here in a second. If you'll watch right here, there's an Advance Auto up here on the other side. And I think Patrick was recording us, and Philip and Jasmine were there too. So proving that y'all had left us.
I thought
Yeah.
that was what was coming up.
Yeah, proving that y'all had left us and went way on ahead and enjoyed creature comforts while we were out and about. But that was fun. I've actually used that video that Patrick did right here several times in reels and shorts and everything.
Yeah, there
Everybody
you are.
wave.
Oh,
There he
I
is.
do remember that. Okay, I do remember that.
Yes.
But we didn't get Starbucks.
Uh-huh.
I don't think y'all did that until we got to Arizona. Did I put the same video in here twice? I may have. Steve was asking if we changed the oil every night. We changed it the first night because it was still pretty fresh bill. We changed it before we left. And then I think, Patrick, how often did we change it after that?
Maybe twice.
Yeah,
Not
maybe.
even.
I think we were trying to keep ahead of it at the beginning. Thought we would have to change it a lot, but I think it ended up we did like the first day, and then we skipped like 2 days, and then we did it, and then I think we
I don't
went
think we
a long
did it
time
anymore.
between the last couple.
Yeah, I guess I put that in there twice. My apologies. All right, Elizabeth is asking what the most memorable thing besides making it to the coast was for each of y'all. So Jen, go first.
Carlsbad Caverns for me was a highlight. It was something I'd always wanted to do. I just figured it was not going to happen, and so that was a really big deal for me.
Jazz?
Being woke up by Jen and Philip screaming about the Wienermobile. No, it was probably getting to see my brother while we were on the trip.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was going to touch on that in a minute. Y'all can't see the rest of what I'm trying to do here in the background, can you?
No.
All I see is the coast to coast and a bunch of smoke.
Yeah, I can't figure out how to get rid of that. You were talking about the Wienermobile, Jasmine. There it is there. And no, Tracy, Jazz will never live those pancakes down.
And probably never will. Patrick just brought it up again the other night.
We bought her a pancake cookbook for Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a joke that keeps on giving. That's nice.
And have never used it.
Don't doubt that.
That's obvious.
All right, what else do we have here in my notes here? This is very informal, and this is our first live doing like this or whatever. So this y'all bear with us. That's pretty wild eyes to see another Wienermobile in the wild. Yes, it was. It was very. It was crazy. It was.
God and I were smacking each other.
Well,
Oh,
that's
yeah, I
how
forgot.
Jen.
Yeah.
That's how Jen and Philip was doing because she was in the front seat and I was in the back sleeping, and that's how they were doing. And they were
right.
screaming, and I stood up, and I'm like, "What? What?"
All right.
They were like, "The
Patrick,
Wienermobile."
We're like, hitting each other. We're screaming. Jasmine finally wakes up. We're honking the horn. We're calling them. We're using like the walkie-talkies. We're doing everything. And they are completely oblivious to everything around them. Just Patrick and Todd just going right along. We're like, look that way. So we're screaming at them. They had no
All right.
idea. Finally got right beside them.
All right, Patrick, what was your most memorable thing from the trip?
Oh, I have quite a few, but one that always sticks with me is we were outside of Phoenix, and I was navigating. He didn't want to be on the main roads, so we're kind of like south of it. And what we were doing was they were zigzagging, and we literally 90-degree turns and a stop sign, 90-degree turn, then a stop sign. And I said, Todd, you need to get up here. And Todd wasn't slowing down. And next thing you know, like the whole car is practically on two wheels. And my hat goes flying. We almost go flying. And somehow we made it through this curve.
That was good stuff. That was funny. That was pretty funny. That was good.
Yeah.
I was awake for that.
And then like
I was too afterwards.
The funny part, the follow-up to that was like we just stopped to get some sealant or something from some shop in the middle of nowhere for the intake manifold. And he's like, hold on, I gotta take this turn tight. It's like, no problem. I've been through worse. You could just see it was just chuckling.
All right, Philip, how about you?
I'd say one of the most memorable things was there were so many, but I'd say Tombstone. Tombstone was pretty amazing. We had a great place to stay. The town was neat, even though it was almost deserted. Seemed like we were the only ones there. But we had a good time that evening at dinner, and it was fun to wake up and be deer outside the room. It's kind of cool. And that's the day that we didn't get pancakes, so that's obviously very memorable.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
just another day, yeah. So
Whatever.
the next day. So leading into what was it, day 3 or day 4 or something like that? We had horrible weather, and Jim was trying to navigate that. We constantly had calls coming in from her dad and other people or whatever about the weather. And Patrick jumped in with me, and we pulled up to a gas station or whatever, and we discussed for like a half a second putting it in the trailer, and I was like, no, let's keep it on the ground as long as we can. And we put on rain gear, and Patrick jumped in with me, and he was trying to see his phone, and it was horrible weather that day. It was horrible weather. Patrick, what was it like riding?
Well, at first it wasn't so bad until we got into traffic. Once we got in the traffic, it was just like that's when it downpoured the most. So,
Yep.
And then I think when Todd were you getting your clothes on, the pants were supposed to go over top of the little sock things. Well, they got underneath of them, so all the water filled up as that pocket of shoes.
Yeah, that was comical when we got to the Airbnb. Jasmine, you want to talk about that Sears Airbnb that we stayed at? You and Jen talk about that.
Talk about the house or the donkeys. So, we just got in and we were walking around the house, checking it out. It was a beautiful, beautiful Sears kit house. And, I was like, somebody left a whole bag of Twizzlers on the counter. And then I went and read the note. They left it there for us to go feed the donkeys. So I think y'all caught us the next morning sneaking out to go feed the donkeys Twizzlers.
Yeah. Jen, you want to talk about it for a minute? I know you enjoyed that part of it.
Oh, I loved it. So we also got to meet up with my cousin, Jim, and his family and wife. And we ate some really, really good Louisiana local food. And what all did we have? We had boudin balls and gumbo and all kinds of etouffee. And so we got to go there that night. But the house was just wonderful. It was restored 1920 farmhouse, and that they basically, it was like their family land, and they had several houses on the land. And so our host was just fantastic. It was super cozy.
Mhm.
Everybody had their own space. It was really, really nice. I think we could have stayed there the rest of the time and been happy too.
I still have them on Facebook, so I see them post pictures a good bit of being out there at the house, sitting on the porch. The porch was the best.
Yeah, I called her cousin Sheila, and so
Yeah.
Sheila is friends with me on Facebook, and we yeah, she's now my cousin. She doesn't, I mean, she's just family.
Whether she wants to be or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was definitely some good food we ate that night.
She's my cousin. Dad.
And that was also the day the news reporter came in. So that was the second news reporter that we had a contact with on the trip. The first one was at Andersonville RV Park. Guy came out there and took pictures, and I think they put us in the paper the next day or whatever. And then the lady came from, what was the town in Louisiana?
Ruston.
So I know Patrick and Philip, they were out there checking out the Ford tractor, and I think we got some firewood that night to use for the next night. Patrick did, but we didn't ever. I think the only thing we ever used it for was the chalk for the wheel.
Yeah, that's pretty much. We also did the electrical. We wired in some lights that night.
Brake lights.
Yeah. So I remember after getting back, I laid out everything, all the contents of my wallet that were soaking wet all over the bed. And then Philip drew me a bath.
I did.
Which I never used.
No, you did.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Next day we got up and headed out there after a lot more pictures and everything with those guys, which they came over and cooked us breakfast and brought muffins and everything else, which I thought was super sweet too. Yeah. And they also made a donation back to the Hydrocephalus Association, which was really cool and beneficial to our goal. The next day we got up and got back on Highway 80. That road, we were on that road from day 2 to Dallas. I think it was on the historic Highway 80. But the next day we stopped at the Bonnie and Clyde Museum. Anybody got any thoughts? Yeah, after leaving Louisiana, we got into Texas. I think we did. I think that was pretty much right.
Louisiana, yeah. Vaguely remember got to look at my videos. I took a bunch of little shorts.
We were in Texas for 17 days, so you know.
Patrick, talk about the museum for just a second.
The museum was really cool. I actually came across some stickers today that when I was cleaning out that drawer, I still had some stickers in there. The museum was really cool. They had just all kinds of different artifacts from that whole thing. They had some type of car in there, but I don't think it was the original one. Nobody really knew which car was the original one, but it was almost the exact car. All kinds of different stories of different interviews with different people in there. They were really cool. I really enjoyed that part. And then I guess there was like a little sandwich shop or something during the time that Bonnie and Clyde were there. So they kind of had that little part set up, which I thought was pretty neat too. And then too bad we weren't able to go to the actual site that they were shot at. I guess it's kind of morbid, but you know.
Yeah, just time didn't permit it. Philip.
What I found interesting about that whole Bonnie and Clyde Museum was the artifacts in there were pretty neat, but the proprietor was a unique individual all their own.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember his name.
He was in a like a roadie basically for a couple of bands and stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah.
A band or something.
Yeah, back in the late 70s and early 80s. So big hair bands and stuff like that. He had a whole bunch of stories, which was pretty neat. I mean, we were traveling with a bunch of characters, but we met a whole bunch of characters on that trip for sure.
Yeah. I think the after that, I think our next cool stop was in well, first off, that night was probably the worst night we had. That was at Timberline RV Park in Marshall, Texas. And that was a rough one.
I don't remember that one.
That was the one where Jeff Krager met us, him and his girlfriend met us, and we got the dropped axle and stuff like that. for the one that we're building now, and that was the really nasty bathrooms and all that
Yes.
stuff.
That was
I've
the
been
one where
through worse.
nobody wanted to shower in. I did though. I showered
I showered.
very carefully, but I did.
I remember it now.
Cleaner. We were cleaner having not gone in there than we were afterwards. I was like, put on your protective gear before going in there to take a shower. It was bad.
It was a little rough.
It didn't bother me much. I've been through worse.
Was that first stop we had at the KOA in Georgia? That one was pretty good.
That Andersonville RV, or not Andersonville. That was the one that was no one else was there. That the lady met us outside with the flashlights in Andersonville the first night.
That was in Andersonville, yeah, where we had the whole thing to ourselves. But
Yep, totally.
Yeah,
ours.
and it was heated in there too.
Yes, it was heated, and she had like 60 cats. Remember?
Oh, you talking about the bathhouse? Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah.
After leaving the Timberline RV park, we made our way to Mineola, Texas. And
Hey.
that was probably the best. They rolled out the red carpet for us, for sure.
I got my Mineola shirt on.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Let me bring you up on here.
Allie took my shirt.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. I even wasn't even planning that.
That's pretty good coincidental there. That they rolled out the red carpet for us. The what was it, cow burners?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
I was eating
barbecue place.
brisket at 8:00 in the morning, which is part of the reason why I haven't had brisket in 3 years. Because I'm over brisket. Since it took us, what'd you say, Jen? 17 days to get across Texas. Pretty
Yeah.
close.
they also had that cheesecake place, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Park
I
on
had brisket and cheesecake for breakfast.
That
And we
was
had a
great.
flat tire. Remember, Philip had to change the flat tire on the trailer.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Patrick got the whizzer out and rode over to one of the part stores and
Ace
picked up some
Hardware. That's right.
cleaner. Yep. And I can't remember the guy's name that was in charge of that did all that for us.
Owen Tyner.
I'm friends with him on Facebook still. And but anyway, that was good stuff. That was definitely good stuff. Where are we at next? That was the day after that. We rode into Dallas to actually Arlington, Texas, and stayed at the KOA there. And we met Robert, the Instagram influencer.
Yeah, the guy, he lives in Miami.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
And that's where I picked up a cat.
Yeah, that slept with you all night long.
And I didn't even know until the next morning when Jennifer and Todd's looking down at me because they're still in bed, giggling and taking pictures. And I woke up and I'm like, what are you guys doing? And the cat was in the bed with me.
We shooed the cat out of the trailer probably 15 times. And I don't think anybody really knew the cat was in there. But then I look down and see something laid across Jasmine. And then I got Todd to look. It was...
That wasn't the only cat that she had either.
Yeah.
That wasn't the only cat. I think she picked up a cat somewhere out west, somewhere in Arizona or something like that too.
Oh, yeah. They were in Phoenix.
Beth said that's the best breakfast ever. Brisket. Yeah, I'll agree with that. So after that, we also went downtown and went down to Dealey Plaza, and I'll let Patrick was down there with us. Philip was circling.
Yeah, there was no
Patrick,
parking, so I had to drive around.
walking around. Tell us a little bit about walking around downtown Dallas.
Talking about me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I got a bunch of noise going on in the background. So that was really cool. I actually really enjoyed that because I've never actually I've been to Dallas, but I never thought about going to the downtown part of it. I don't know why. But we went down there and stood the same spot that Kennedy was at, and realized how close everything was. Sometimes when you hear about those things, because I'm a real big history buff, of course, and then when you hear about those things and read about that stuff, you don't realize how close things are unless you go and see it. And it made all more sense of how things like that could happen and why things could happen so close. But downtown was really cool because they also had some other historical stuff down there, log cabins and stuff. But I really enjoyed it. That was one of my favorite parts. Of Dallas. Oh, yeah.
Cool.
We went to that steakhouse.
Yeah, I was gonna get Philip
Mhm.
to tell us about that.
What do I remember about the steakhouse? It was a really
Yep.
good steak, and somebody was gracious enough to pay for my meal. Appreciate that, Todd.
And they made you take off your hat.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did. I did. And we couldn't wear
Jazz,
it.
what
Hey,
did you like
Todd,
about that
did you
steakhouse?
Todd, did you skip over the Louisiana Hayride
I
stuff?
did. I did. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
did.
the day before that, I'm looking at my notes here, but I don't have my glasses on. The day before that, we did stop at the where are we at here? We did stop at the what is it, Louisiana Municipal Auditorium, where the Louisiana Hayride was back in the
Oh yeah,
40s, 50s, and all that, where Elvis and all those guys performed at, Hank Sr. and all those guys performed at, which was really cool.
that was
And
the
that was,
precursor of the Grand Ole Opry, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah. Yeah, they were the two big ones back in the day, and I guess AM only reached so far. I don't know. Okay, back to Dallas real quick. I'm gonna let Jen and Jasmine talk about this one. I'll let Jen go first, and talking about going into the Walmart to get food for Thanksgiving dinner in Dallas.
Oh my gosh. So we had decided that we were gonna do our best to have a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. And that meant going into Walmart on the day. Was it Thanksgiving Day or day before Thanksgiving?
Day before.
Day before. Okay. And everything was completely picked over. I mean, every section that we went down was completely wiped out. And Jasmine and I did our best to kind of piece everything together. But we went to the meat section to try to get turkey, ham, something like that, something traditional. There was one little tiny pack of ham left. So we grabbed it. We grabbed a couple of canned items. Jasmine, what else do you remember about that?
Well, hold. I'll
Well,
talk about the next store. I'll talk about the next store here in a second when we get to it. When we get
Okay.
into Breckenridge, but when we left there on Thanksgiving Day, it was one of the few selfies that we got along the way, and I hate that. We definitely should have taken more pictures together. I think things just started happening at such a rapid pace that it was hard to keep track. And we were like, no, we got tomorrow to do it. We got tomorrow to do it. Well, we definitely should have taken more pictures. But when we left out on Thanksgiving Day, we went through Fort Worth and Mineral Wells, and I was a little bit disappointed because I wanted to get Crazy Water in Mineral Wells, and everywhere was closed for Thanksgiving. So that was just bad timing, and it is what it is. But all along the way, we started running into these different gas stations that have been restored. And actually, I'm gonna go back to Jen for a second because this was our first incident on an Airbnb that we had booked for Breckenridge, or somewhere near there anyway.
Yes. So we had 4 Airbnb total planned ahead. And this was the first time that we had an issue. And so it was Thanksgiving, day before Thanksgiving, that we got a message from Airbnb that said, hey, we're canceling your Airbnb for Thanksgiving night because there's been an issue with the home. So there was no additional help, no additional information. It was basically just like, hey, you're on your own. And Breckenridge was one of those areas that when we had started planning the trip, that was a very vital place to find a place to stay because there was not a whole lot of options. And that was one of the ones that we had the most difficulty finding a place. And I had looked at several different platforms to try to find a location for us to stay that was, within a reasonable amount of time to travel. Because when you're in the Model T, if it's 20 miles out of the way, it's a no-go. So we had a very, very tight area to look for a place to stay. So that put me into a bit of panic. I did call Airbnb and let them know what was going on. And they tried to give me some alternative locations. They were all way out of the way. And I tried to explain to them as we're driving in the Model T, I'm got the wind noise and everything else, that was just not going to work. So finally I got into the truck so that I could handle it. And I think it took probably 2 hours or so for me to find something that was a good alternative, and where we could park the trailer, that wasn't too far out of the way and that would take us on Thanksgiving Day. So I ended up messaging the host and kind of telling him what was going on. It was a little bit more expensive than the other place that we had, but it was really our only chance to have a place to stay that night.
But
And
it was nice.
Yeah, he was. Oh, it was extremely nice. He was very nice, and so we had a place to stay, and that made me feel a lot better. But Airbnb tried a little bit, but I ended up finding a place and kind of contacting the guy, and ended up on the phone with him, and he was extremely nice and accommodating. So we ended up getting a really probably much better place to stay. It was very, we were
Yeah, it was
very.
on a lake and all that. Now I'm gonna
Yeah.
let Jasmine talk about the next place y'all went to get groceries for Thanksgiving.
We had to go. I feel like the house was like way off from anything really. So we had to go to Dollar General to get the rest of our food. So we had I can't even remember what all we had to get from there, but majority of our Thanksgiving food came from there because Walmart didn't have nothing.
Yeah, it was but it was good. And that's what counted. And we had a good time, and we got some rest and a good bed. And Philip, how bad was following us at that pace at this point? Briefly.
So going way back to when we started discussing this, I thought it was going to be really boring being behind a Model T going 30 to 35 mile an hour. But there's a lot of things happen when you're going that slow and you're that big. But on the Model T, I could, there's a couple times we were fighting some stuff where it wasn't running real good. And I could tell that it wasn't running real good because we dropped about 7 miles an hour, which was a big percentage of the total. So, but it was interesting. Only kind of watched you guys almost die twice during the whole trip. One time in Arizona, and then one time where that car ran the red light.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Oh, besides the hurricane, the tornadoes, of course, in Louisiana. But
Oh yeah.
I think we almost all died there. But yeah, it's good.
Philip
Yeah,
was
following behind
the
Model T at 35 miles an hour is not as boring as you think it is.
Yeah, I never listened to the first song. I never I downloaded, I don't know how many songs, saved them on different platforms or whatever, never listened to the first one. What were you gonna say, Jess?
well, I was going to say that Philip was the solo driver of the chase truck because he didn't trust me or Jennifer driving. He didn't say that, but I feel like that's what it was. But no, he wasn't bored because we were doing karaoke most of the time.
All right. The next
I
day
can't carry a tune in a bucket, but I did it anyways.
all right, the next day was we're further behind on time than I thought we were. Next day we got up to go to Carlsbad Caverns. And when I started talking about this trip, that was the only thing Jennifer said she wanted to do. So
I've got a bad connection on this side or something.
I made sure to you still there? Yep, looks like you
Or
froze
is it
up.
just me?
I think you froze up. You're clear now.
I think it's
You're
just
moving.
me.
Jen, Carlsbad was on your bucket list of places to visit for this trip anyway?
Yeah, absolutely. So we went into the natural entrance, which was a big, big opening that was the original entry to it. And the bats fly out of that area.
Can everybody hear me now?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
All right. I had a bad connection on this end. Sorry.
that's all right. And the bats do fly out of that area, which is a sight to behold. But we ended up not being able to stay long enough to see that happen. But it's something that I would love to go back and see. But really, we walked about 1.5 miles or 2 miles inside of the cavern, so it's it takes a while to do. But it was just like otherworldly. It was something that I really wanted to do, and I'm glad that we did it. I'll never forget that.
So when we went to leave there, I ended up, Jennifer was riding with me, and I ended up going the rest of the way up by myself just because it's such a steep incline. And when we went to leave, park ranger came by, and I don't remember if it was Patrick or Philip asked him, or maybe it was myself. So, when was the last time a car went over the cliff? And he's like, yesterday. I was like, great, this is going to be fun. So Patrick tightened up the Rocky Mountain brakes and transmission brake as much as I possibly could, and we just took our time getting down and then backed those off once we got to the bottom of the hill there. And next stop was the El Paso RV Park. And we went to, stayed in New Mexico and went back into Texas to eat that night. And I won't ever forget, Philip came back from the bathroom and he said it smells like a third world country. And I just thought that was the funniest thing. And the next day after that, we headed up to a little bit out of the way, and we turned south to go to the Geronimo Surrender Site Monument. And when we turned south, I don't remember who was riding with me. Jennifer, I think you were riding. I don't remember. Or Patrick was riding with me, and we got up to where we needed to turn left, and the truck and everything pulled up beside us. And when we turned left, that was the coldest I think I'd ever been in my life, and I was ready to turn around that day. But we made it on down to the Geronimo Surrender Site Monument, and that was really cool. And after that, we made it up to the Tombstone and stayed at the White Earp House, which was really cool experience. And went down to eat at Big Nose Kate's Saloon and all that good stuff. And like I said, Patrick said earlier, whatever, we just about had the town to ourselves. So after that, we made it over to day 11. We made it into California, which I thought was epic. I was like, we're at our last state, and it started to become, in Jennifer's words, bittersweet that we were coming to an end. And but we got the coveralls even signed by the Border Patrol and other people. I should have wore those today. And this was the night that we met the Montoya family.
Wait, and Patrick needs to tell everybody what was in the back of the truck.
Oh, so we were in. That's right. So I don't know. We were on the way to El Paso. I'm pretty sure that's where it was, and we were having some motor problems. Well, it wasn't really motor problems. It turns out to be connection problems. Anyway, so we pulled over and we're messing around with it, and I happened to look down. There's this little, like, chili, like a little, what do you call it? Like an actual red hot chili pepper. So I threw that in the back of the truck, just kind of chuckled to myself. It's like, so how long that takes it? That thing make it all the way to the West Coast. So it was pretty funny that.
Yeah, that and the melons.
The melons.
Oh, the melons.
I was getting ready to say,
the melons.
Todd, where were we at with the melons? Because I
was
was
in West
riding with
Texas.
you. Okay, so I was riding with you, and I turned around, and they were way far back there. So I was like, you think they're okay? So I sent them a message, and I was like, hey, are you guys good? And I get a picture of Patrick holding up these melons. They stopped to get these melons.
So we were driving around, and we kept on seeing these, like, they just harvested the field, and there are these melons that are on the side. I think this was in, I don't know,
Texas for sure.
Texas, yeah, I think it was in Texas.
West Texas. It was definitely West Texas.
Yeah, and they're just constantly over there. I was like, hey, we got to stop and just let me grab a couple melons just to see what they are. So then we stopped and grabbed them, and then I had to send Jen the picture of my melons.
So this was the picture when we made it into California here while we're talking.
What were you going to say, Jen?
Didn't you eat it?
Oh, I went to
Yeah,
go
he was the
slice
only
it open
one.
one day, and it turns out it was just like a bad melon. I
And they
think
were
I
yellow
threw
on the inside. Weird.
Yeah, so when I cut them open, we were at the Geronimo site because they had picnic tables and everything.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh, this is lame, because I was actually kind of looking forward to having. I didn't know what they were. I thought they were, like a honeydew or.
They kind of look like watermelons, but not really.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
they just weren't ripe. That's why they probably left them there.
So that picture there that you have up, I think I was riding with you, and
I'm
I
pretty
was
sure I took
nervous.
that picture.
Yeah, I think you were riding with me on this picture, Jasmine.
Yeah, because I remember being nervous because it was dark, and yeah.
Yeah, it was that was epic when we got to the top of that hill and came across. It was a steep climb, and then when we got to the top, Dave Siler told us that he said, you're going to get to the top and you're going to oh wow. And it was definitely an oh wow moment for sure.
That was Palm Springs at night.
Yeah,
Yeah, getting into Palm Springs. And then later on that night, we met the Montoya family here, and that's the Hydrocephalus family. And that kind of brought, the whole trip to a good close or whatever, as far as the not really a close for the Hydrocephalus part of it, but that was just a really cool part. I was trying to find a picture, Jen. If Fliver Channel says it's hard to believe we able to squeeze any touristing in during a high speed cross country race. Yes, it was. We had to break it up some for sure. Or it would have been, I don't want to say on the boring side, but it made it fun and made it to where we were able to involve more people, with the calls and everything for raising money and awareness for the Hydrocephalus Association. Yippee, California. Yeah, that was right. Shane here, I think, had one surgery, and Philip, put him back on here. Philip said that he was going to gain 5 pounds by eating the sweets that they brought that night.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of food. That's one thing we didn't lack of is snacks and food and good people.
We just didn't have pancakes, but everything else was really good.
Hey, now,
night you
if
had
you
pancakes.
notice that stove that was in the background of that picture, that stove got used for pancakes.
We
All
did
right.
have pancakes, not every
All right,
day.
very, very true. All right, now I've got a video here to play for the last day. I hope I've got everything on there, and you can see just how tight. Philip did a great job of backing into this.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here.
Can't see me in that picture at all. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was the mountains. I couldn't believe how close we were. We were right there on the mountains, and this was another problem we had with the Airbnb here too. That Jen had to switch over.
Where's this
Oh, look, I was making pancakes.
Oh, there they are.
There's the pancakes.
So yes, Az made those pancakes right there, and we'll give them a second to for everyone to understand. Tracy, you should be proud of her for making pancakes. It only took 9 states and 3,000 miles to get them, but we got them. And
You're welcome. You're welcome.
a good hungry Jack. And this was Dave Seiler and Fred met us, and this was the last end of this. This was the part that I did not plan out. I had no idea at all where we were going or how we were getting there. I just knew we were going to get to the ocean, and we really. Jen was like, I remember Jen telling me stop trying to record or whatever here. You know, we're going to run off the cliff, and I don't even know what that was, but it was ocean body of water, and that's all I cared about. And this is when we finally made it. And Jen, you want to talk about who all was there in the background?
Yeah, so we had a couple of people who are from South Carolina join us there. Beth Kalish and her husband were there to welcome us, and that was really cool. There they are in the background there. Well, that's who's that?
Fred,
Beth
Beth,
and Dave.
Jasmine. Dave's over here on the right.
Yeah. And so if you can see Beth there in the middle, she's got a handful of flowers, and I'm talking about they filled the car up. That was really sweet of her to be there and to plan on that. She'd watched us go across the country. So Beth has come and seen us, gosh, just a bunch of times, even since we've opened up the restaurant.
Yeah, she was a big supporter.
She's always been a big supporter of us, and she's definitely a lifelong friend now.
I would drive 3,000 miles again for that kiss. So it was worth it.
There's
There's
a
also
little
chocolate.
Oh, the chalk.
At this point, I was just wanting to get to the ocean. I was like, man, this asphalt does nothing for me. I wanted to get to the ocean and say we actually had made it and completed.
That was a
everything.
long walk to the ocean.
It was an extremely long walk. And I will say this also, when we got there, we had challenged everyone. I ran this by Philip first to make sure he was okay with driving there. We challenged everyone if we could get to $30,000 in donations, which was the original goal. We were at like 28,000 when we got to California, that we would drive down the Vegas Strip. And when we got there, we were like 28,900 or something like that. And I was like, okay, we're not there. We're not going to do it, you know. And I won't never forget, we got in the truck to leave, and Patrick said, hot darn, you know, we're going to Vegas. And I was like, seriously? I'm tired.
And then we stayed at we drove to Vegas and stayed at the Shelby America parking lot.
And froze.
Yeah, it was kind of cold that night.
Yeah. So that was some other Model Ts that joined in with us on that last day. And if you remember from the first video, we poured it on the right rear, and then we poured it on the left front. So that kind of solidified ocean to ocean, cross country, you know. And we did make our goal and ended up raising, I think it was 31,500 by the time we got home or something like that. I can't remember. They got donated directly to the association through the links and everything. And is that Beth Kalish on? The Beth 6834, is that Beth Kalish? I'll see you next time. Or is that Sister Beth? I'm not sure. Jen, do you know?
I think
And that was what it looked like when we got packed up, ready to leave. I'm not sure which Beth that is watching.
Beth Kalish. Yeah.
And that was the most epic picture that Jen took. That's now in Tin Lizzie's. That was in Mississippi, I think.
Yeah, that was a great picture.
Yep.
And real quick, we have a few other questions. And I'll bring us all back on here together and let y'all answer. Well, the first one is directly toward Jen. Said, this came from Alex up in Sandwich, Illinois. Jen, when Todd sprung this on you, what did you think? What about during the planning? Then looking back, what do you remember about the trip? What emotions? What went wrong? What went right when you arrived in California? Tell us your feelings, and I'll let you and Jazz talk about that real quick. What y'all did afterwards or whatever. And how did it make you a different person? And why was the Model T the perfect car for this cause? Those were all questions for Jen directly. So I'll let you touch on that real quick before we run out of time.
Alex, you were pretty much there with us from the beginning. And thank you for your support and everything that you've done for us. In the beginning, I kind of thought that it was Todd just talking. And so I just was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. That sounds great. I thought he was going to lose interest in it. But after I realized he got serious, I did have a little panic. Not gonna lie, but you know, I knew that we could do it, especially after having everybody backing us and helping us. I knew that it was going to be great once we actually did it. I was scared to death that we weren't going to complete it, but we ended up doing it. During the trip, I guess I didn't really have any questions. After we got into Georgia, I was like, okay, this is doable. We're going to make it. And I definitely had faith that we were going to complete it. And Todd really didn't ever want to trailer the car or not complete it. So I knew that with everybody involved, we were definitely going to succeed. Everybody had the same mindset, and it was really exciting. I think it was adrenaline filled, and we had a fantastic time, but we also did a really good thing. The highlights of it for me, we did meet a woman during the trip who stopped us, and she had a traumatic brain injury, and she made a point to come up and talk to us. That was something that I don't think I'll ever forget, that feeling. And also,
Jen, I was trying my best to find that picture and couldn't find it while we were on here.
Yeah,
she chased you down. It wasn't just like she chased us down and found us.
Mm-hmm.
She did.
I might have that picture and see if I can find it.
It was I cry every time I talk about it. But she really wanted to make it a point to stop and talk to us, and that was just really meaningful to me. And also meeting the Montoya family, become friends of ours as well. And Tasha Buchanan, another hydrocephalus warrior, her son is. And
yeah, it was we give a shot. All right. Jazz, when I approached you about going on this trip, what were your thoughts?
Well, you asked me if I'd go with y'all, and I was like, yeah, okay. And then same as Jen, yeah, we're not doing this. And then it got closer to time, and I was like, oh, we really are doing this. Yeah.
So one of the questions, I'll let you answer it for the crew, was how did you endure the long days? And I'm gonna just answer that for you and just say naps.
Naps. She never slept so much in her life.
Well, you know, the back seat of Philip's truck is not the most comfortable, but it works. It works, especially, you know, if you have a backpack back there with, like, you know, blanket stuffed in it. Works.
in the snack bag, you really use the snack bag for.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and the snack bag that we got from Jennifer's dad and stepmom.
All right, Philip. I approached you with a big question about going, because everyone else I thought could get time away or whatever. I was pretty confident, and at the time, and then we'll get to Patrick. Confident that Charlie could get time off or whatever too. What were your thoughts when I first approached you about going across country?
I thought it's not the dumbest thing I've ever done, and it should be fun. So, I really, it was crazy, but it was an adventure, and yeah, like I said, I mean, I think the biggest thing, I mean, right before we left, is like, you know, I know these people, but I have not spent that much time with these people. It might get weird, but it didn't. It was great. It was good fun.
You were the only weird one. Come on.
Right. I was thinking
Welcome,
the same thing.
welcome to my party.
All right, Patrick. Originally Charlie was going, got sick. I put on Facebook, I said tea time at 3 o'clock on whatever day, and you sent me a text or a message or whatever and asked if I needed help, and one thing led to another one. And tell us about that real briefly.
So yeah, I remember seeing the post. You posted on Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, you just hanging out, or you just working on a car?" And you're like, "Yeah, I need some help in the car." I'm like, "Cool, I'll show up." So I showed up. I had nothing to do that day. I go in. And he's like, "Yeah, I got to get this, this, and this, and this, and this done in like 40 days." I'm like, "What?" So I was like, "All right, we're gonna solve your electrical problems because I think you had a bunch of them at the time." I says, and I told him, I was like, "Look, I'll make time to make sure you can get out of here and everything's kosher." And yeah, and next thing you know, Todd's like, "Well, everything's running good, and but Charlie can't come, so can you come?" And I was like, actually, I kept on telling Todd like over and over again, probably through the whole time, like, "Man, that's a really cool trip. Wish I could go one day." And I was so excited when he asked me. I mean, it wasn't even a hesitation. It was like, it was a yes, but I got to tell my wife. So, but she was really cool with it. It was on the second time I was away for second or third time I was away for Thanksgiving. So, and my daughter's birthday.
Yeah, you kept sending pictures of ducks and all that stuff for them, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, being deployed, they always want me to send them kind of like what I'm doing. Send me a duck picture of the day, so to have a picture of a duck, and whatever I was doing that day, whether I was working on aircraft or whatever. But on the Model T thing, I kind of did that, and then I found, I don't know where we were. I lost my duck because it was the Mineola. I lost my duck. It fell out of my pocket while riding the Whizzer. And then I ended up picking up this penguin at the side of the road. And I'm like, well, this will do. So I have this nasty looking tiny toy penguin that I started using. And I put some googly eyes on it because it was missing the googly eyes. And then when we got to Tombstone, I ended up going to find a little cowboy and horse. And I started doing that one. So, but it was,
That one.
something the kids can look forward to, like looking forward to a picture with the little horse or the penguin or both of them in the background.
Yeah, that was I thought that was really cool that you were doing that for them. And last, well, two more questions. There was actually a lot more questions. Real quick, that is Beth Kalish that was watching. I don't know if she's still on, and she's in town. Is coming to see us next week. Steve with Fliver said you guys have a great team, and I couldn't agree more with that. Our PV says he's still proud of us, and small group of people to ever do anything like this, and that's definitely for sure. One question was, who thinks I'm crazy for planning something like this? Just raise your hand. One, two.
We're guys. We'll do anything.
The guys are good.
I've been through worse.
I told Todd there was a period of time there where one of y'all plus additional people were at our house. I just knew that I was going to fix extra food because somebody was eating at the house every single day for about 60 days.
I remember that.
Yeah, there was that was a lot of activity at the house. Tracy, I was trying to find that video, but I don't know if I've got it on here or not to where I can easily find it. When
What
Jazz
video?
was getting the truck, she's asking about the one where you were getting out the truck or whatever and looked like a llama.
Oh, that was I took that video. I was like, this is great.
Yeah. All right. Jen, I'll let you answer this one last question. And but they wanted to talk about Tin Lizzies real quick and how the name came about and if it had anything to do with the trip.
I mean, it has everything to do with the trip. When we decided we were going to open the restaurant, we went through several different versions of what we were going to offer and what we're going to call it. And I looked at Todd one day and I said, why are we trying to find a name? We already have a theme. We already have a name. And it was just kind of obvious at that point after we had written down several names that the winner of it was going to be Tin Lizzies, because our car had, become a purpose for us, but it also had, sort of become an identity for us. So it made sense just to go ahead and do the theme around the car, and Tin Lizzies is the nickname for the Model T. And we've had so much joy brought to us by the vehicle and by the people who have been surrounding us by the vehicle. I mean, the Model T Association, the South Carolina group everybody's just been fantastic. So, I mean, it made sense for it to be the theme of our restaurant.
Yeah, that's they used Jerry used Alex's car for that too. For the most Model Ts look the same, but he used his picture specifically for that logo, and we thank both of them. So anyway, Elizabeth's still here, Tracy's still here, Ira. I don't know if Beth and Steve are still here or not, but anyway, definitely appreciate y'all taking the time to join us and do a recap on this. And who knows if we'll do it again one day. I would definitely like to do that. That's not an announcement or anything, but we are building another car. So any last words from anybody before we get off here? We're all good. So anyway, I definitely appreciate everyone watching, and I'll let y'all go now, as we took up an hour of your time, but we really appreciate it. And we're going to watch the intro as the outro. So again, thank y'all for watching, and make sure you leave us a comment and subscribe and go back and watch the other videos and help us get this particular channel monetized, and maybe that'll help us build another Model T so we can go across the country faster. Our PV, we do need a speedier car, speedier than that. So not many people will get that. But here we go. Thank y'all for watching.